Today we are jumping into a highly anticipated destination in the Sims 2 franchise, and that is the Sims 2 Bon Voyage. And let me tell you, this pack had a lot to live up to, and as someone who loves the idea of escaping everyday routines, this expansion gave me a lot to think about and quite a bit to enjoy. Now, for those of you just discovering this space, my name is Michael, and I want to let you know that you have landed in Sovereign Sandboxing, the YouTube channel where we build, play, and reflect on games that let us shape our own stories. And just like my previous reviews, we're going to be breaking this one down across 5 categories scored out of 10, and those categories of course include the concept, its innovation, gameplay, the impact on the current franchise, and the impact on future franchises. And of course, we'll place it on my franchise tier list at the very end, so grab your luggage, your travel journal, and maybe a map because we're about to unpack The Sims 2 Bon Voyage. When The Sims 2 Bon Voyage came out, the Sims 2 franchise was already bursting with rich, everyday gameplay. We had families, we had pets, weather, businesses, nightclubs and restaurants, and college experiences, and also, of course, seasons. But one thing that was missing was a break from it all, and The Sims 2 Bon Voyage gave us exactly that. Now, this expansion pack brought in the idea of traveling and vacation as a reward, a retreat, and even a storytelling tool. And the idea of getting out of your home neighborhood and into an entirely different environment felt necessary at this point in the franchise. It was also incredibly immersive. Thematically, it was a perfect evolution of life simulation, and not every moment in a Sim's life is really about work and aspiration. Sometimes it's about rest, wonder, and even discovery. And for me, The Sims 2 Bon Voyage really nailed the concept. It gave us 3 distinct destinations, each with its own flavor and activities and identity, and the moment that you load into a vacation world or into a vacation lot, you knew that you were not in Pleasant View anymore. And that kind of escapism is core to what made this expansion pack click. And for that, in the concept category, it is getting a 10 out of 10 from me. Now, where this expansion pack really does take a bit of a hit and warrants a little bit of criticism from me is actually within the innovation category here. Now, while Bon Voyage definitely adds depth and polish, it really doesn't break any new ground. It felt like a reinterpretation of The Sims Vacation from the Sims 1 franchise rather than a reinvention. And yes, the destinations are more immersive, and yes, the graphics and UI are improved, and yes, there are some new mechanics like souvenirs and hidden lots, but in terms of truly new gameplay experiences, that's where it doesn't quite push the envelope. At some levels, like when it comes to these legacy expansion packs, like there has to be a departure, a risk being taken in the expansion pack, if you will. And I feel that Bon Voyage doesn't take any risks with its gameplay. It felt like a strict reinterpretation of The Sims 1 Vacation, and although there's nothing wrong with that fundamentally, when I look at how an expansion pack adds new gameplay experiences that go beyond applying the concept to its franchise's gameplay mechanics, I have to score it accordingly. Essentially, I really strongly feel that The Sims 2 Bon Voyage was a very strict reinterpretation of The Sims 1 Vacation, just being applied to The Sims 2's franchise's game mechanics. So, for example here, I think that it would have been nice to see some more travel elements explored in this expansion pack, such as deepening the travel planning aspect of the experience, like controlling your travel budget, for example, or allowing players to own their own hotels. Like, I think it would be cool to have, a budget-friendly vacation, for example. Or of course, like owning your own hotel is a mechanic that does get explored in future franchises. But I do think that there needed to be more risk taken with The Sims 2 Bon Voyage. And to me, it just felt like a very strict reinterpretation of The Sims 1 Vacation. And that's kind of going to be a common theme throughout. Now, it doesn't mean that The Sims 2 Bon Voyage wasn't good. It's just that the Bon Voyage feels more like a refinement than an innovation. It feels more like you're taking Sims 1 Vacation gameplays and ideas and just applying them to the Sims 2 franchise without trying to take any risks with it. And it built on that previous idea instead of giving us something that we hadn't seen before in addition to the experiences it was delivering on. And because Bon Voyage felt like it was strictly adhering to reinterpreting The Sims 1 Vacation as a Sims 2 expansion pack, I'm actually going to be giving it a 5 out of 10 in the innovation category. In my opinion, gameplay is where Bon Voyage absolutely shines yet again as an expansion pack. Every destination feels like a mini expansion pack on its own. So you've got the mountainous, nature-filled 3 lakes with the axe throwing and the log rolling. You've got the tropical getaway of Tweaky Island, complete with beach activities and hula dancing, and maybe they need to adjust that name. And then of course you've got the culture-rich Takamizu village featuring the tea ceremonies, the dragon legends, and even hidden ninjas. Each location has unique activities, locals with distinct behavior, and its own vacation secrets to uncover. It made returning to each location feel rewarding rather than repetitive. And one feature that I didn't expect to love as much as I did was the vacation memory system. Your Sims could collect special memories and photo-worthy moments, and there was a kind of completionist thrill in unlocking them all. And I like the fact that I could do a bit of storytelling with Sims just based on the memories alone. For example, I could have a newlywed couple take a honeymoon vacation to Tweaky Island, and then as their family grew, they could take a family vacation to 3 lakes, for example. Another surprising addition was the ability to purchase a vacation home, and this wasn't heavily advertised, and I stumbled across it kind of mid-gameplay, but the idea of owning a second home and returning whenever you want and customizing it really felt like a luxury feature that truly expanded long-term gameplay possibilities with the Sims 2 franchise. And we also got some light hotel gameplay, including bellhops, room services, and even complaints about cleanliness if your Sims were so inclined to do so. The thing with hotel is just with hotel gameplay is that it just wasn't deep enough to be a hotel management simulation in of itself, but the hotels did add enough flavor to sell the illusion of a real vacation. And yes, you could send your Sims on honeymoons, which added a beautiful layer to post-wedding gameplay and helped to, again, make vacations feel more complete and more meaningful. It made marriage in The Sims 2 feel a lot more complete with the addition of honeymoon vacations. And in short, like, the gameplay was rich, immersive, and really full of surprises, and so it shouldn't be a surprise that it's getting another 10 out of 10 from me for this category. Okay, here's where things can get a little bit nuanced. So while I love the gameplay, Bon Voyage feels like a bit of an outlier in the Sims 2 ecosystem. Unlike Seasons, which altered the experience of every household, Bon Voyage sits more in the realm of optional luxury. Like, if you're playing on a tight budget or picking up expansion packs slowly, The Sims 2 Bon Voyage might be one that you might just skip until payday. It doesn't connect deeply with most of the other expansion packs, and you could easily play an entire legacy challenge without needing The Sims 2 Bon Voyage. I also strongly feel that Bon Voyage should have interfaced with the Seasons expansion pack more closely. Now, don't get me wrong, the seasons that each of the vacation worlds are assigned do make sense, but it was very apparent that it was coded to interface with the Seasons expansion pack without adding in some additional gameplay in accordance to each season. This is specifically evident in the 3 Lakes region, where it could actually be winter, and it would have been nice if Bon Voyage even added like a snowboarding half-pipe object for Sims, because it does feel like there aren't a lot of activities to do in winter when vacationing at 3 Lakes. And vacationing at the 3 Lakes region in winter versus fall would be very different experiences in real life, and I would have really liked to have seen The Sims 2 Bon Voyage interface with The Sims 2 Seasons a lot more strongly, because, like I said, even throwing in like a snowboarding object, for example, would have done a lot, and it would have actually offered another reason for Sims players to take their Sims on vacation to the 3 Lakes region in winter. With that said, like for those who did pick up The Sims 2 Bon Voyage, it offers some really memorable storytelling opportunities, and that shouldn't be overlooked. It just doesn't weave itself into the core day-to-day gameplay as seamlessly as the other expansion packs and the lack of interfacing with the Sims 2 seasons, and I would even say it lacks cohesive interfacing with the Sims 2 pets as well in some ways. And so because it doesn't interface as strongly as I think it needed to, I'm actually going to be scoring this section a 7 out of 10 for its impact on the current franchise. Okay, I'm actually going to cut to the chase on this one here. The Sims 2 Bon Voyage's impact on future franchises easily gets a 10 out of 10 for me. Even though The Sims 2 Bon Voyage didn't reinvent the wheel, it absolutely set the bar for what vacation gameplay should look like, and although I don't think that Bon Voyage brought anything game-changing or innovative to the table per se, it did deepen vacation gameplay that The Sims 1 Vacation introduced to us in the last franchise. You see, The Sims 3 and The Sims 4 both took inspiration from this expansion pack. However, in my opinion, The Sims 3 and The Sims 4 decided to really milk this concept across several expansion packs, but that's a whole other video. Bon Voyage created the template, which is destination diversity, optional activities, souvenirs, hidden lots, and even the mystery and storyline elements that you see in The Sims 3 World Adventures. So it really kind of has like that adventure, that family vacation gameplay, and also, you know, couple and solo travels and all that. So it really kind of hits on each of those themes lightly. And even when newer games deviated from Bon Voyage's approach, The Sims 2 Bon Voyage stayed in players' minds as a benchmark. When Sims fans talk about vacation gameplay, this is often the point of comparison, as you can have a family vacation or a honeymoon or a destination adventure, whereas future interpretations really limit you to one of those experiences, and even then, those future interpretations are not exactly clear or confident on the direction that they took. But again, that is a completely different video for some time in the future. The Sims 2 Bon Voyage proved that vacation gameplay isn't just about fun scenery, it's about depth, and very importantly, replayability, and the chance to step outside of your normal gameplay loop. And for that, it does deserve the 10 out of 10 score on its impact on future franchises. Bon Voyage is a beautiful expansion pack. It's not a game changer for the franchise as a whole, but for the individual player, it delivers an experience that feels complete, satisfying, and deeply relaxing. With a final score of 42 out of 50 on my tier list, it lands as a great expansion pack, and I do feel like that score was fair for this reinterpretation of The Sims 1 Vacation. And if you're a Sims 2 collector or a story-driven player, this pack is really a must-have, but you can hold off for payday if you need to, or at least that's my opinion of it. I just want to take another moment here just to thank you guys so much for watching, and if you've enjoyed this review, feel free to like, comment, or share your favorite Bon Voyage memory. And as always, stay creative, stay curious, and I'll see you guys in the next sandbox.